Listen, if you're noticing all those extra squats are not helping you build the buns you want, it might be time to consider a lift.
Rocky spoke to a local plastic surgeon to get some answers.
Welcome to Smith Plastic Surgery, where Dr. Lane Smith designed his very own state-of-the-art offices. Let's just say he has an eye for buildings and for bodies, especially when you're ready for a Brazilian butt lift.
It's mainly making the buttocks larger by transferring fat. So what we do is we take fat from problem areas and place them into the buttocks.
Smith's Plastic Surgery has been doing this procedure for 16 years and was actually the very first to bring it to the Vegas market where, you know, nice butts are in high demand.
There's a lot of women who work in various industries, from cocktail waitresses to people who are in shows. They need to be curvier. It is a myth to think that you can get curvier just by getting fat. People think that, okay? Fat is distributed genetically, and you can be very fat and have nothing in your bum and hips, or you can be thin and have a lot. The main goal of the Brazilian butt lift is not to make a bigger bum. That's certainly one of the goals, but it's to make a curvier figure, a narrower waist, you know, a little larger buttocks, and maybe a little larger hips. Patients will come in and say, hey, I look like SpongeBob. And they thought, you know, if they gain some weight, they'd get curvier. But, you know, the weight goes to all the wrong places if they don't already genetically have it nicely distributed. So we can fix that.
And no, you can't just rely on exercise and diet to get the curves you want.
You really can't just get it by eating more, or even a little bit by exercise. You can increase the gluteal muscles, but you can't really get curvy unless you're kind of genetically predisposed for that, or unless we help you.
And that help goes a long way. When you take the fat from the problem areas, then your problem areas have less fat cells forever. But I'll let the expert explain.
In the future, if you gain weight, instead of going to your problem area, it might be your waist or your arms. It'll go to your bum and hips. So that's kind of nice, you know, it kind of goes in the right place finally, you know, instead of the wrong place.
The curvy figure wasn't always the most common desire, though.
Culture's changed, okay? In the 70s and 80s, you know, femininity was all breasts, and now it's going back to hips and buttocks, things that distinguish a woman from a male. And that's something that is encoded right deep in our DNA.
And you know, influences like Kim K, J-Lo, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, all well known for their backsides, help make the Brazilian butt lift the fastest growing procedure in plastic surgery. But it's also the most dangerous.
What makes this dangerous is possible to inject the fat instead of into where we want it, into a vein, and it can go through the vein and block the heart or lung, make it very serious. And the fat has a little bit higher risk of infection too when we inject it. So these two things make it the most dangerous plastic surgery procedure. Fortunately, both things are sort of very avoidable. You know, if you do the procedure properly and keep it put the fat where it belongs, which is not into the muscle and definitely not under the muscle, that's where the big veins are, you can avoid having that problem. If we mix the fat with antibiotics, you can drop the infection rate very low. So that's ways to avoid it. For the public, I would say, if you're going to do this procedure, okay, make sure that the surgeon you're doing it with is board certified by the proper boards, okay, of plastic surgery, that they have done many of them, they can show you lots of pictures, and that they have a good safety record.
Thank you, Rocky. For more information, call 702-838-2455 or head to smithsurgery.com.